Hey, y'all, what is today? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's trending topic Wednesday. And I guess Diddy is going to close out the month of March for everybody. March Madness, and it's Diddy is in the building. This whole Diddy thing is so crazy. It's insane. I can't even believe it. It's a whole hot mess. It's a lot. I debated for a few minutes. I was like, am I going to do this? Am I going here? But we're going to go there. We're going to have the conversation because we're all adults. Make sure 18 or under, leave the building now. Everybody else, buckle your seatbelts. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. I'm going to tell y'all right now because I cannot do a low-level conversation. I need everybody to level up. And if somebody come midway and they don't really know us and they start talking crazy, I'm blocking them and kicking them out. I'm going to let you know ahead of time. We're not doing that tonight because we got to have a conversation. It's trending topics. And it's two sides to every story. And in case y'all don't know me, I'm going to have to say this up front. I'm not victim shaming, but we got to talk. We got to talk. It's two sides to every story. Listen, I think we are all clear. I don't think there's a person in the world that is not clear that Diddy is sinister. He allegedly did a lot, has done a lot, and what he's done is wild. It's almost like a movie. Oh, Emmanuel said 3 sides. Well, you ain't lying, Emmanuel. I should have changed that title. There's 3 sides to every story. His side, her side, and somewhere in between the truth. Sony, somebody needs to make a movie. Because this is like movie level stuff going on right now. Sex, lies, videotapes, and unalivings. People being unalived. Now, I want to deal with this side as part of this conversation tonight. The side of, yes, victims should be heard. I do not disagree. So don't come at me with the nonsense and the sideways and diva. Don't do it. Because y'all know how I lose my mind sometimes. I will get crazy and kick you all the way out. Victims need to be heard. Mark that on the page. Diva said it, and I'm clear about that. But the part I struggle with, and you may have to give me some time, the part I struggle with, people can't remember what they ate for lunch on Monday. People forgot you texted them last week. People mix up a story you told them 5 minutes ago. And you be like, girl, I didn't say that. So then you got something that happened to you 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And you get to tell that story and sue me for big money. And how do I defend that? How do I go against it? It's a he said, she said, and 30 million or 40 million or $50 million is on the line. And I'm going beyond Diddy right now. And I'm not saying what happened to these people are true or not true. You got the Bill Cosby. People are still suing him to this day, civil suits, saying he did X, Y, Z. You don't got a kit. You don't got a test. You don't got a witness. I could be sitting in my house reading a lawsuit that somebody already did and say, yeah, you know what? That happened to me. Let me go file my suit and get my payday because he did the same thing to me. I was an actress. He called me to his house. I went. he slipped something in there. I drunk it. Next thing you know, I woke up, no clothes on, so forth and so on. We got to talk about the other side. Let's get back to Diddy for a minute. He ain't do this alone. When he throw those FO parties, tons and tons and tons and tons of people were there. Tons of people were there. The music was on. They was dancing. They was getting it in. Yeah. Passing around. They was passing around sharing. They was clicking in the pills like candy. They saw the girls there. They knew they wasn't all allegedly of age. Even if you don't see somebody's identification, the driver's license, whatever, you want to know somebody young and I start talking to them. You can tell when a young person is talking to you. Yes, you can. Start asking them some questions. Where you work? Are you in college? What high school you go to? Because if you throw the wrong question out there, they're going to slip up. Oh, I go to so-and-so high school. Okay, boom. Move away from them. There was people that partied with Diddy. There was people that helped them. Speaking of help, the word on the curve and in the lawsuit, Young Miami. I got to fix her name up there, actually, in my title. Young Miami. They said she wasn't really the girlfriend. She was one of the workers, getting paid very well every month. Cassie left. He leveled up and started paying the people to do what he wanted. So he got him Young Miami. 300, the 400K, the 500K a month. On March 16th, thank you, Sasuke. On Instagram, Diddy made a post with all of his daughters except baby and said, Combs girls, yet the so-called adopted daughter is not in the pic. Where's Ava? Papa Combs. So Young Miami was all on, because see, you know what? They didn't just do their crimes. It's like, shut your mouth. No, they was all over podcasts. I love Diddy. He gives me allowance every month. She called it an allowance. Do y'all remember that? She said every month she get an allowance of $300K. She pretended to be so pissed when she found out that Diddy fathered a child while they was going together, baby love. She was leaving, she was staying, she was staying, she was leaving. When he started to run out of the money, he cut her allowance. She lost her natural mind. Said she was going to go. One of the workers. She was getting paid a month. She said out of her own mouth. You know what's going to sink their ship? You better ask Keefe D. Keefe D sitting behind bars right now because he wanted to be on YouTube running his mouth about what happened to Tupac. Now he locked up behind bars in his senior years. But he should be chilling on his porch, listening to music, attending the parties, kissing his grandkids. He's behind bars because he wanted to sit on YouTube and run his mouth. I don't know what it is about a camera and a mic. It has the people losing their natural mind. It's all kind of speculation. Did he know? Didn't he know? This, that, do the other. Let's be clear. One thing we could say about Diddy, because he knew what he was doing, his whole darn career, he had a lawyer on his hip. And he didn't have no lawyer fresh out of the law school. He had him some lawyers that knew how to do things, but where they slipped up is they thought they was going to punk Cassie. And they didn't. And because they didn't punk Cassie, and everything the world just heard little rumors about Diddy, we got the truth from Cassie and her lawsuit. And people was like, oh my gosh. Before it was all just rumors. But Cassie put it all on paper. And that was the catalyst that sunk his ship. Now, facts is, this ain't diva, not psychic. Facts is Cassie, and she was encouraged by her husband, handed over to the FBI after that lawsuit in November. Videotapes. Google it. So this is not all happenstance and just this and it was, no. Cassie handed over stuff. If you remember, when the Cassie lawsuit happened, and you can Google this also, the New York Post wrote an article saying that the NYPD, if you're with me and remember, chat with me. They said that the NYPD had a whole investigation going on Diddy. Y'all remember that? All around the time that Cassie and the lawsuit and it got settled. The next day, the NYPD claimed and the mayor of New York claimed, we don't know what y'all talking about. We ain't got nothing going on. We ain't investigating. We ain't doing that. We don't know what y'all talking about. They claimed they had spoke to somebody at the NYPD police station and was confirmed that they had a whole case going on Diddy. And then the next day they said it's a lie. Come on now, Sass K. Yep, and then the NYPD said it's not true. It was all true. This been in the works since that Cassie lawsuit. Remember they said, I don't know who somebody spoke to at the police station. We don't know what y'all talking about. It's a lie. It's been going on since November 2023. And here we are at the end of the quarter of 2024, and the chickens are coming home to roost. What have they been doing since November, December, January, February, March? That's 4 months, right? You know what they've been doing? They've been begging the people, speak up so we can get this monster. People were nervous and scared. I would have been too. Because if you were truly around Diddy and in that circle, you knew what he was capable of. You saw the people disappear, allegedly. You saw the things he got away with. You saw the important people roll up to his house like they was his homeboy. What y'all need me to take care of? Did you not hear little Ronnie said the men will roll up in black? They had the pow-pows. They had all kind of stuff. This is made for the movies. Diddy's like the black Scarface. Anybody know that movie? Y'all might be too young. Say hello to my little friend. And like the Wild, Wild West, Diddy at any given time will pull out a pow-pow and do whatever he want to do. Now, when little Ronnie told that story about what happened in the studio and somebody got pow-pow, was we shocked? You shouldn't have been. Why? Because 20 years back, he was in the club with the pow-pow and J-Lo, right? And somebody got pow-powed. And that girl was 10 toes down that Diddy did it. She got paid. That was over 2 decades ago. She got paid. And she said every since he paid her whole existence, that man been harassing her. That's what she said. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So they raided the homes. The kids was there chilling. He was going on vacation with the daughters. The vacation that he normally goes on with everybody, but okay. They roll up on him. He shot, all this other kind of stuff. They take his electronics. They ransack the house. And they get what? If Diddy knew there was possibly something they could have gotten in that house, he would have fell out at that airport. He ain't built for this life. You know them play gangsters? He a gangster, but you know what? Everybody can do the crime. But when it comes time to do the time, they be falling out. He ain't ready for them jails. But he's fortunate that the ST, and we got to watch the words over here, that's federal. He could perhaps survive federal prison. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't think he built for either one. But let me get back, because I got to get ready to bring the people in the building. Let me get back and say this. You party with this man, and now you want to sit up on your high horse and be like, oh my God, you were there. Oh my God, you helped subject the people to the pain and suffering that they was in. OMG, you convinced some young ladies to give it up and do whatever with this man. OMG, you were part of it. Now listen, y'all hold on to your seatbelt. Let me just say this. Little Rodney, you know, I'm finding my words because I know y'all get very sensitive about these things. Little Rodney, well, let me do it in reverse. It confuses me how people want to sell their soul to the devil for $1. And then when the dollar is gone, they want to cry foul play. You got that Christian Keys. You got that Christian Keys, right? He did a whole Instagram live crying, carrying on, talking about, I taped it, this pen, I taped it, I got the evidence, it's wrong, this needs to stop. He tried to touch me, he tried to grope me. Does that sound familiar? He tried to grope me, tried to touch me, tried to do this, tried to do that. He was 10 toes down. And the next day he was going to give us names, places, time, things, all of that. Now go to his Instagram. Yeah, go to his Instagram now. He does live, whatever days he does live, and the music be playing in the background. He dancing and smiling and he happy. What happened to the trauma, sir? What happened? You come on, you darn right he did. He got a check. He got a check. You said these men traumatized you. It was wrong. The industry it shouldn't be this way. You had us all roped in. Have us going over to Tyler Perry and other people's website and being like, you was wrong. How could you do this to him? And then boom, you got a check and you went silent. It's messy. It's two sides to every story. But if you're going to go participate in that life, and then the aftermath is the aftermath, don't complain in our face about the aftermath when you got pictures that you probably was partying and getting down with it. It's a mess. Y'all know what I got to do, right? Got to bring the people in the building. But tonight we're going to have a conversation, y'all. And everybody's going to get to say what they want to say. And let me say this because I think it might have been someone new in the building last night. I don't know where the person came from. Really not. I'm not really going to get down with that or whatever the case may be. But what we do here, the panel, we're family. Yeah, we are. We're family. And we don't have to agree. Because y'all know I would be on the train so low. We don't have to agree. None of us have to agree. And sometimes it may see here that the family is fighting. I may be thinking, looking at the panel, be like, oh my God, the family's fighting. No, we get down like that. But what you're not going to do in that chat, and what y'all can't do is, you don't call the panelists any names. We ain't doing that. You don't have to agree with a word any of the panelists say. We ain't asking you to agree with us. But you know what? Hear out what we got to say. Because one of the panelists might spark a conversation, you in a thought process where you go, ooh. But let me say this, though. Don't be calling the panelists no names, because you know what? God, this, I'm supposed to be here because God told me to do this. And I'll tell you what, so nobody going to hold a subscribership over my head. You will get blocked. You will get blocked. Do not talk about the panelists. You can say you disagree. You can say whatever you want, but don't be calling the panelists no names. I didn't like that last night. And I ain't going to accept it or tolerate it, because we family and we fight and we do what we do here. And if I got to be on the train by myself with the family, then that's what I'm going to do. I don't care. I just let the people know, I guess I'm on the train car by myself tonight. Now, I want y'all to go ahead and buckle your seatbelts, okay? Because we about to bring this party on. Hold on one second. Let me make sure. I'm trying to make sure I get what I need to get over here. Let me bring the people on in the building, okay? So come on now, toilet people. Exactly. You can have your opinion without being disrespectful. You better tell it to the people, Flip. So do you know what I got to do in here? Come on, what I need, y'all? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and it's two sides to every story. Listen, one person said with this whole ST thing, he can face up to life in prison. Oh my, okay? They laugh and they party with him. Young Miami and a whole slew of others. Now they turning their nose up, acting like they didn't see what they saw, and they running away from Diddy. No. And see, you know what? I'm that chick. I'm sorry if I'm going down, in the midst of me going down, you want to turn your back on me? Okay, I got you. Because then you know what? I'm going to dig in my file, and you're going to come down in this hole with me too. So let's fall in the rabbit hole together. Now let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Hey, Leo.
Hey, now. 3 sides to every story, Diva.
Come on now. I got to fix that whole title, okay? Come on, you better tell it. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, everybody. No, there's 9 sides to every story.
Oh, God. Y'all trying to tear down my title all the way in the gutter. Now, y'all just doing it. Y'all just doing it. Hey, everybody. Y'all in the building.
Hey, Diva.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, y'all. Choo-choo. Hit the like button or else we going on strike. Okay?
Oh,
that's right, Julie. Don't cheat the diva, too.
Okay, so we gotta talk before
we know we got gangster Tay on the stream. Come on now.
We gotta talk, guys. Everybody mute. Let me bring the stories on in the building. But before I do that, I gotta say this: it's Diana Ross' birthday. Diana Ross, the boss, is 80, and she looks amazing. And I want y'all in that chat to give it up for Diana Ross and let me know your favorite Diana Ross song. Her daughter, Tracy Ellis, and the other one, I forgot the oldest one's name, but they look just like their mama. Just like their mama. But I want to say shout out to Diana Ross. Happy birthday to Diana Ross. She's 80. She's iconic. And that's when music was music. Show her some respect. It's Diana Ross. And I love that song, I'm Coming Out. And see, if Diddy would have just did that, maybe he wouldn't be in half the trouble that he's in now. We love you, Diana Ross. 80, looking fabulous, looking good, and she's still in these streets singing. Happy birthday, Diana. Okay? Went to Diana Ross concert, and I had myself a good old time. So now we're going to go ahead and get right into this story because, you know, Diddy is trying to take over the whole month of March, and I never liked the rush time. But you know what? March need to be over because it's March Madness. March Madness. So this one analyst said Diddy could end up dying in prison after ST accusations, legal experts claim, and it's an exclusive. Let me see if I'm able to play this for us so we can hear this thing right here. And because this whole thing is Diddy intimately, I will go ahead and add stuff to this story. Let me see. What is this going to play?
Raid the homes to begin with. Obviously, they had a lot of information and probably were planning this for quite some time.
I believe they were, Christina. I think this all started with that lawsuit that we talked about in November when Cassie sued Diddy. And at the time, you and I talked about how incredibly foolish it was for Diddy not to settle the case before the allegations became public. And he settled it the very next day. And apparently the parties were about $10 million apart. But Cassie was with Diddy for a decade, and she knew where the bodies were buried, and she spilled it all out. And that encouraged other victims to come forward. And there was a lawsuit after a lawsuit alleging that Diddy and others had engaged in sex trafficking. So now it's gone from a civil lawsuit, which is about money, to a full-blown criminal investigation, and a very serious one that's based out of the Southern District of New York, probably the most prestigious prosecutor's office in the country. And federal agents executed 2 search warrants, one in Miami and one a mile away from where I live here in Los Angeles, with a lot of armed federal agents who went into the home, and they're looking for evidence of criminal activity, primarily sex trafficking, like you talked about, Christina, but other crimes as well. Add gun and firearms charges, and we're talking about someone who may spend decades in federal prison, like R. Kelly, and this is why. Under federal law, if someone is convicted of even one count of sex trafficking, it carries a minimum 10 or 15-year prison sentence minimum. The judge can't go any lower for each count, depending on the age of the victim.
So there's a potential that Diddy could spend the rest of his life in prison.
Oh, very real possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if this is another Jeffrey Epstein or an R. Kelly type case where we're talking about multiple victims across multiple jurisdictions over a significant period of time. And again, these are just allegations. Nothing's been proven yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy is arrested in the coming days or weeks, and he's going to have to face these charges. And there's no possible plea that is going to get him off with a slap on the wrist or probation. If prosecutors are successful and able to prove it, he may end up dying in prison.
Good gosh. All right, I wanted to add that to the conversation. Just to put out there that he's accused of multiple incidents of ST. And that God said the minimum just for one.
To go back to the finale a little bit, and
pause that. It is up to 10 to 15 years in prison, the minimum. Now, I want to add to this immediate conversation the story of how, hold on, let me just let somebody back in the building here. How Young Miami, she claimed that whole time to be the girlfriend. And they're saying that Young Miami was one of the workers. Okay. I have so many tabs open here. I just got to find the right one. Let me see. I could use this one for right now. So Daphne Joy in Young Miami allegedly received a monthly fee from Diddy to serve as his S-workers, according to court documents. So in there, they said Young Miami, Jade, and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work for Mr. Cohn as S-workers and receive payment via wire transfers from Robin, the accountant, right? Just dumb. Just dumb. Wire transfer money and all of that. Just dumb. But I want to remind you that Young Miami talked about this several times about, Diddy gave her allowance as a girlfriend, okay? She claimed as a girlfriend, she used to get an allowance. So Young Miami, and this was way back in November of 2022, but she talked about this on multiple occasions. Young Miami dumps Diddy after he slashed her monthly allowance from $500K to $200K. How this girl was almost getting $1 million in 2 months to be the ass worker. You can't be this desperate and this sinister to need this thing this bad. She needs to pay too. So she running and hiding now and acting like Diddy's so sinister. Girl, you knew what was going on. You helped. Yeah. Remember she said she liked the golden showers? That's exactly, Felicia, why silence is golden. She got about 13 videos where she bragged about this money she was getting from Diddy every month. Bragged about it. That's why her cousin was allegedly there at that party trying to do whatever she was trying to do to little Rodney because it pays well. Or it paid well. Little Rodney said the Young Miami's cousin darn near tried to R him. And he kept trying to push her off. But she had work to do. She was getting paid nicely, allegedly. I'll leave the conversation with those 2 pieces of information. As we go around, I'll interject more. Leo, your thoughts?
Okay. So, Diva, predators are in the building, right? So, all of the Young Miami and the cousin, I will even say Lil Rod. I will even say the people who engaged in this are also predators too, because Little Rod may have been uncomfortable, but he never left. A big old grown man, he never left. He got a whole family, ex-wives, partners, children. He stayed there for a year. He could have left. I think they're all predators. I do think as well they saving their skin. You know how they say when the ship is sinking, the rats jump first? So, Diva, you on mute. So, they all rats and they jumping ship and they running and telling. And I ain't mad at Young Miami. If she got something to tell it. I ain't mad at her, tell it. But you's a part of it too. You's a part of it too. And there's a small piece of me that feels like there are bigger fish to fry. But at this time, Diddy is the biggest fish. And if there is a way, I understood what the man said. The man said when you get caught up on the ST charges, then there ain't no negotiating out of that. You're going to do 10, 15. Fair time is mandatory. You'll do the 10, you'll do the 15, mandatory, minimum.
Flat time.
Flat. You're going to do it fair time. There's still a piece of me that does not believe that Diddy, he ain't broke like R. Kelly was broke when his charges came. R. Kelly was flat broke. I don't think that he is that bro. I saw his homes, the one that was on Star Island and in LA. It was in no decline whatsoever. The outside of it was gorgeous. I mean, the landscaping, the pools, and he still got income coming in, even if it had been income from the ST. Because I do feel like he did get income from that. It's still looking good. I just don't think that for someone that's been under threat for as long as he's been under threat and been getting away with it, he cut Young Miami off from getting her stipend because he already knew when things start happening, people start jumping ship. And she was already iffy anyway. One day she was with him, the next day she on the social media broke down crying. The other, I mean, she wasn't loyal. She wasn't really loyal to the game. Right. And one thing about it, I remember from the 90s, like the early 90s, Ice Cube song had True to the Game. It's this lyric in it that black folks always trying to show their teeth. When this was all good, they was all up on the party. They was all up on the video. When it was all good, it was all good. The celebrities, everybody, the politicians, it was all good. The two and the three sides of the story is everybody is always going to speak on what looks favorable to them. Mm-hmm. But the evidence, whatever evidence the feds pull, will be the truth. And that's the three sides of the story. I think that all of them participated. All of them are guilty. All of them are liable. All of them. But everybody coming forth with the best deal that they can get to turn on Diddy. Mm-hmm. And now Diddy gonna have to come up with what he can come up with to turn on others. Whew. And imagine all the hundreds and thousands of lives that have been destroyed. Because what's not gonna be able to get out of is all them those ODs and all those people and all those ex-workers and all of these people that they swept up under the rug that's been going on with these FO parties. Mm-hmm. I think all of them, everybody's life is valuable. Even if it's someone who was on the streets that was picked up, that became unalive, everybody's life is valuable. And that's the reason why I think everybody need to pay.
Everybody need to pay. But it's interesting, though, he got most of the S workers, not from the streets, but from these sites. And see, the thing about him is, right, they help you, it's like, say it's me and you, Leo, to make sure at the end we both go down, you get the S workers for me. You feel what I'm saying? So now you the one that's going to be on these sites and it's going to be your name.
That's right. And that's how the feds was very, very careful to say there's been no indictment, there's no warrant on Puffy. They never said there was something. It was to search the properties. Yeah. And that was it, because they ain't got the goods on him yet.
They don't, they can't, they got information that they need to do like a solid lockdown on, but there's some things that he did very strategically, and it was always someone sent to get these workers.
And to run the substances and to pick up the substances and to pay for the substances and that kind of thing. It was done very cleverly, and that's how come they very specific to say, no, we're not after him. We just have probable cause to do a search of his properties. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because my name is on the website, paying for the people and seeing the people and bringing the people in. Felicia, you're up.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Yeah. This is what? 48 hours of Sean Combs goes to jail. Okay. So that first piece you ran, Diva, I thought was pretty good. The gentleman says, well, I don't think he will survive being, incarcerated. And my position has been, and it's going to remain consistent, that unless Mr. Combs is under medical supervision for all of his addicted substances, he's not even going to make 12 hours. So perhaps he's speaking to a medical professional right now about how he can detox off of some of these substances. I don't know if this man is going to ever get convicted of anything, but I do believe he's going to be arrested. And I do believe they're going to lock him up for at least a couple of hours. And based on what we've read in all these lawsuits, he doesn't even go a couple of hours without getting something to stimulate him. So I could see him going into a major crisis. And if there isn't some kind of intervention, he will pass away in that jail cell. I don't know if anybody wants to be responsible for that. I don't know, what facility might want to take him in and take that kind of risk. And I mean that very seriously, because he has been doing this for at least 2 decades. Now, the gentleman also talked about one case could get him 15 years.
Good gosh.
And I immediately go to the Jane Doe case. I keep going back to that case. Yes, Little Rod's case, really, with the split piece that so many of us agreed upon that looked like 2 lawsuits in one. The front half was all of the salacious stuff and the things they were doing and some of the people who were present and walking around with the bag and wearing the hat and all of that. But the back half talked about the wire transfers and talked about the movement of money and the funding for these lavish get-togethers, which ran into millions of dollars, and how Mr. Combs would use that as a business expense, and they would launder that money in that manner. So, I believe there's a lot of legitimacy there. But the piece that I keep coming back to here is with Jane Doe. And she's got that fine attorney, Doug Wigdor. And I don't know if many people noticed, but when it first came out that his homes were being raided, it wasn't his attorney who spoke first. It was hers and Cassie's attorney that commented. And Mr. Wigdor doesn't appear to be afraid of anybody. And I believe that he's very well connected. I believe he's very well connected with someone at the New York Times and with the people over there at Rolling Stone. So he knows what he's doing and how to move the press. Tyrone Blackburn actually is Little Rod's attorney. I know most of you know that Little Rod has already amended his lawsuit again. So he's amended it, 3 times now, right? So he's now added Cuba Gooding as a defendant. Are we ready for that? I don't think so, but he sure did. So he now, before, remember, he had the photographs of him in there, and he said that, he touched him inappropriately, but he didn't name him as a defendant in the lawsuit. He's done that. And that woman that hangs out with that Mr. Grange man, what's her name? Ethiopia. He dropped her from the lawsuit, and she's now put in a declaration statement saying that what Mr. Rodney said was accurate. So this is really turning out to be something quite interesting. So it brings me back again to Miss Jane Doe. She knows people, and they care about her. And when she does go public, Mr. Combs is going to get charged criminally. And that gentleman said, one case, you're looking at 15 years. My good counsel to Mr. Combs is get yourself a good medical doctor. Start the detox. Because you may not stay there a long time, but you're going to be in there feeling like it's a long time. And you're going to have to be able to hold it together if you want to live. I don't know. But I'm done.
Appreciate you. Well, because the drug mill was at the airport with him, We know that his dumb behind don't have the common sense yet to try to wing off of those substances, right? But you are correct. Detox is a bitch. It's rough. And his body is so used to it. Like you said, Felicia, I don't think his body can function 30 minutes without popping something. If they said that, if Little Ronnie said you got to walk around with a pouch so that anybody he bumped into that big mansion would have something for him, as I was thinking about this, I'm like, dang, he can't even maybe get down 2 hallways without needing something to get him back up.
And Diva, you have to add in that it was a fanny pack, so that when he goes to get it, he's able to assault you in an SA way. So he was getting both stimulations.
Good gosh. Child, this man. Good gosh. Oh, E, you're up. Are you there, E? Oh, okay. I'm gonna roll from E. Tay, you're up.
Well, I agree with Felicia what she said. It's time for Diddy to go down right now because this is going too far right here. And for Cassie, she didn't go down too because she knew what she was up to when she with that man. You knew from the beginning what he been doing. And that what me, Diva? I don't want to be with him either. I said deuces. Matter of fact, let me take my money too and save it for an account right there for me. And tell that her and Young Miami, they both need to go down anyway because they both know what he been doing. And that right there, dude, I see the video between him and Miami. You see how they now like closely like a normal Kobo like that on the video. That'll tell you something that's going on with that picture right there. And yep, like Felicia said, he did go down. That's all.
Thank you, Tay. You know what I find interesting now? So you was dropping 500, 300, 200K to Young Miami per month. Come on, thank you, Jay, as a gem, because you triggered something in my brain. But you couldn't give Little Rodney 50K. So that means some substances are really burning out his brain cells. You big dummy. Because if you think Cassie told a lie, well, Little Rodney put the nail in the coffin. He had pictures, time, places, things. He gave us a whole movie script. He said the Men in Black, the drug mill, the guy who his Olivia Pope, that guy. They said if something happened and you in this state, that state, call him. So for 50K, you didn't want to give up. Now you're giving up your whole livelihood and everything. You're a big dummy, Diddy. Big dummy. But you're going to give your S worker $500,000 a month and give her a show on your Revolt TV. That man is crazy and sick. Dr. Love, you're up.
Hello. Ooh, this is a story. Yeah, we may be in April with this story, but anywho, everybody know I stay on the Twitter streets, and the word on the curve is a lot, and one of them is the fact that Cassie and her lawyer had allegedly went to Diddy and his lawyer prior to filing.
That was known though, Dr. Love.
Oh, was it? Okay, I didn't know.
Even the video, the guy just said that, and it was fighting between a difference of 10 million. We don't know the number, but the difference was 10 million. And he should have just gave it up, but the big dummy didn't.
Whoa, before she filed it, before it was filed. Okay.
Right.
So that was one thing. Then they were talking about how the one show that 50 Cent did or doing is off of Pete Diddy. And I believe that. And they saying allegedly this Jane Doe is what is her name? I forgot the girl name that quick.
Sierra Marie.
Mm-mm. The one he was with at first. J-Lo. That's what they're saying allegedly on Twitter. I don't know if it's true or not, but the whole situation is really sad. It's sad because, as we all know, all of them played a role in it. All of them been on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere, so-called trying to clear their name and so-called trying to make Pete Diddy sound even worse than what he is, but not realizing that you are incriminating yourself. So I feel like let me not read no comments. I feel like they don't understand how they have incriminalized themselves as well. If I'm saying the right word, but like like we know, this whole situation is a very sad situation. But my thing is, thank God in this time.
Ooh. Aces, you're up. Are you there? Are you there?
Diva, when it's my turn, come back to me because I'm taking care of some errands right quick.
Okay. Aces, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna have to move on to in my opinion. In my opinion, you're up.
Listen here, Diddy has terrorized the community for 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 decades. He's gonna get what he's gonna get, and whether he can live up to it or not, it doesn't even matter now. You did the crime, you do the time. I am never gonna champion for him because I feel like he has not only took advantage of women, but he's taking advantage of men too. In vulnerable spots. He offered them the chance of having their dream, only to rip their dream away. So yeah, for that he can go to the bottom of the jail and stay there forever.
Not forever. And what about Young Miami? What are your thoughts on that?
Listen here, Young Miami is a troll. Okay, they can go and throw her in the slammer too. I don't like her neither. She's a troll. She likes to cap. Here's the thing: Miami is always gonna do what's best for her. I don't like her at all. Okay, I think she trolls us, but I do think she has a lot to do with it because I believe she knew what she was doing too. She's not as innocent as the rest of them because she got up on internet and she was up there tapping them lips and capping and popping off with everybody else. So just as she knew as much as she knew, now she can go down with them too.
I appreciate you. In my opinion, thank you so much. Katrina, you're up.
Oh, tell Young Miami, don't drop the soap.
Oh my God. Katrina.
It was a mess. Sinister Diddy. But the thing that gets me is, like you said, everybody know what Diddy was doing. If everybody would came out and told on Diddy from the get-go and stop, because they want to party and do all that stuff too. And just like we used to go to Freaknik, we went to Freaknik, but we didn't take Freaknik with us all year round, our whole life. You know what I'm saying? We did, and we let it go. He freaknicking all day, every day, hour on hour, just ridiculous and pathetic. And then he turns around, and these people know what he's doing. Do they know how many people they could have probably helped not get hooked on substance and stuff. You being drugged and you don't know what you getting drugged from, and then you hooked on this stuff, because sometimes it only take one time. And these people are out there, you know, being hooked on these substances or whatsoever, probably going through depression, probably trying to figure out what happened, how did this happen to me, you know, because, you know, if somebody giving you a GHB, you know, that knocks you out. And so you don't know what's really going on. But then when you wake up, you know something happened, but you don't know what happened. Do you know how mind-boggling that is?
Yeah.
And then the thing with Cassie, he had her hooked up on drugs and stuff, so sometimes it's just good to stay because she knew she was going to get her supply. Because she was addicted. She was an addict. But yeah, she knew things. And you know, as being an addict, you see how crazy Diddy is. She should have came out and told too. But she waited. And I can't tell a person when to come out and tell something. But the thing of it is, look how many people she could have helped prevent it happen to other people. Same thing with Young Miami. She flying around with that song, Don't Play With It. Say when she flew in, she on Demon Time taking men's soul. And when she got that $1 million when she flew in. So I guess when she flew in with Diddy, she get that $1 million. Was she getting $1 million in 2 months? She get a $5,000 every month, right? So she getting $1 million within 2 months. And like you said, he couldn't pay little Rodney, whatever his little name is, feel sorry for him. He tossed Rodney salad and he didn't get paid for it. I'd be mad about that too. And then the thing of it is, Lil Rodney knew something was up, because if he knew nothing was up, he knew Diddy was shady. Because if he didn't know Diddy was shady, he wouldn't be doing all that, taking all them pictures, documenting everything. He knew this was gonna happen. That's why he backed this stuff up. That's one thing I can say that he was smart about. But being there with Diddy, I guess he was thinking that he was gonna finally get paid. Diddy probably just kept leading him on, leading him on, leading him on. But baby boy, you got played, and hopefully he get what he deserved, and Diddy get what he deserved, because that's a sinister man. And you can see from his skin. His skin didn't used to look like that when he's in younger days. Now he look like he's a baked cookie. So I don't get it. Like I said, you can see he's sinister because it's coming all out in his skin. Sorry, I'm trying to eat the darn mushroom. It's coming all out in his skin. But either way, Yo Miami, Cassie, and Kim Porter, them and all of them, rest in peace. Nobody stay with Diddy. Don't y'all find that odd? No woman really stay with him. They all leave unless he giving them money or he giving them something, or else they gone. So you know something is not right. He can't hold on to nobody. That's why he try to possess people. That's why he try to use them with money. He try to keep them enticed. He's a nut. He's a nut. But anyway, I digress. I'm done, y'all.
Thank you, Katrina. Aces, you're up.
I'm back, Diva.
Okay, give me a minute, Julius. Aces, are you there? Okay, we're having trouble hearing Aces. So, Julius, you're up, and then the Donna coming to you.
So my thing with Diddy is he knew all this was gonna come out. I believe like the whole lawsuit with Cassie. Sorry, I'm driving. Was the tip of the iceberg, and then with Little Rod to further take him down further. So it's just like, because reports are saying that he was pacing back and forth at that airport. Yeah, you need to be worried. You need to be scared, because you basically had 3 decades of criminal behavior that's all catching up to you. It's about time. And more of his demons and secrets are about to come out. Some of it we already knew. Some of it we don't know. But it's about time. That's it. That's all.
Thank you, Julius. I appreciate you. The Don, you're up.
Listen, I'm gonna say something that might be controversial, but they need to take the whole entourage down.
Come on now.
They need to take and listen. She got paid off, but she knew what was happening for years. She participated in getting the girls. She was a madam. She was a pimp. Brought the girls to the men and possibly the other women for years, and then going to be silent to wait for a payday. Yeah, I'm talking about Cassie.
Oh my God.
You right.
She needs her punishment too. Because ain't no way you're going to gather a bunch of innocent women to come party with these people, knowing what they're about to get into, and then you go scot-free with a payday with millions of dollars. That madam needs to go too. She needs to sit right beside Diddy. Yeah, she might have been on all types of drugs and everything else, but she knew what was going on. She knew enough to go down to wherever she was getting those women, boys, whatever it is, and bring them to the parties. She knew enough to do that. She never stopped at the police station. So I ain't 5 minutes off of her. Diddy, yes, he needs to go down, but all of them need to go.
Come on now.
If you're gonna send the top, send all of them. But
if
this
Vladdy
story
and
really
Maxwell
hit
can go down, so can she.
that part. And my thing is, this has hit mainstream media so hard, but Harvey Weinstein is still out skipping around Hollywood.
Right. Okay, good. Y'all can hear me. Okay.
And that's what really pisses me off. It didn't take them no time to get Diddy. But Hollywood has been known what this other guy with different skin color was going on with him. And he's still safe.
He was in prison.
But how long did it take them to put him in prison? You see what I'm saying? It took them years to put him in prison. And Diddy, all of a sudden, Cassie come out with this lawsuit, and everything trickle down effect. Boom, bam, everything's happening so fast, conveniently. All of them, the whole ring, Cuba Gooding Jr., all of them. They're talking about Beyonce's husband was possibly listed in it. If he is, all of them. Take all of them down. But I'm not 5 minutes off Cassie. Because she participated in it. No, and you can't participate and be innocent. You can't bring the girls and be innocent. You can't stand in the corner and look at what's happening and be innocent. No.
We told y'all to buckle your seatbelts.
But see, that's what I was saying. Jaguar was telling people, but they was calling her crazy. They were saying she don't know what she's talking about. She's lying, but she never got sued. So obviously, whatever she was saying was the truth.
Well,
Aces, you're up.
Hey, Diva. Hey, everybody. I missed y'all. Forgive my technical difficulties.
No problem.
Yes, I am so happy to be here with everybody. Yeah, Diddy going down, and we heard it in his music, right? He will always have these lines he would throw in. Y'all remember the song Let's Get It when he said, not guilty because I'm filthy? He was so braggadocious, right? He was always bragging about staying out of jail and he could do this, he could do that. You can't sow those seeds for decades and not think that it's going to come back on you eventually. You can't do wrong to everybody and think that it's not going to come back. I'm going to keep it short, but I'm happy to be here with all y'all. Missed y'all.
Yeah. Yes, so you could talk, honey. You talking some facts there, right? There's a lot of his songs because there was somebody that was going through the lyrics and saying this man has been bragging for years. Can't stop, won't stop.
Right.
But the guy, I was trying to go back and find that article, but he listed so many of this man's lyrics, but he was telling on himself. Listen, if you've seen the video with Justin Bieber, we about to get into some things y'all can't know about. You heard Usher out of his own adult mouth said, I seen things I shouldn't have seen when I was with Diddy.
And would not send his own child to be up with Diddy. Because, yeah.
There are so many people that got hurt under his watch, but I want the housekeeper to go down too. I want everybody that was in that house that saw and knows what they know and saw, they need to go down too.
Yeah.
Because you stay there for decades, you watched it, and matter of fact, you told people how to navigate around him when they came through the door, all for $1 bill.
That includes them sons too, Diva.
Hold on now. Hold on. Don't do that. Don't do it. We ain't going
I'm just saying.
Don't
I'm just saying.
Don't do that. No.
They there too now. They was there.
No. Let me tell you
You
something.
seeing them partying with them.
No. Let me say something about this. And we gotta agree to disagree with the kids. You train a child up in the way they should go.
If when they get old, they will not depart.
Come on now, Aces. If my mother is drinking alcohol for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there's a high chance that I'm gonna be drinking alcohol too. If my mother is a smoker and I'm seeing her smoke all the time, there's a high chance that I'm gonna be a smoker. Y'all see the road that I'm going now. These kids grew up in an environment where they didn't even know that this was wrong.
Right.
You see that YouTuber that is now in jail, that was on YouTube, had tons of followers, all these kids, and I don't know how the husband is still free. It baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby,
you talking about Ruby Frank?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Ruby Frank. So them kids didn't know until they knew.
When that baby went over to his neighbor's house and asked for, he said, "Can you give me 2 favors?" He said, "Actually, just one. Send me to the police station." The man told him to sit down, and the wife came out and gave him a bottle of water and a banana. And the man turned on the police when he was talking to the police and was trying not to cry. Oh, it broke my heart.
Didn't
it broke my heart? Yes. Oh my goodness. She got 6 kids and the baby was duct taped and had all kind of, yeah. People, I'm telling you, Diva, people reap what they sow. If you reap good, I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in other people's lives. In my own life, I feel like every single thing that I've done wrong, I have reaped those seeds. Every single thing that I've done right, I have. I'm telling you, it's like the Lord doesn't play. We're spiritual beings. We're born with souls. So whether or not you think you got away with it, quote unquote, you don't. You don't. If it takes 10 years or decades like Diddy,
it's going to come back to you.
You're going to reap what you sow.
Yeah. So during empowerment, I hear what you're saying, right? You're saying, so if the kids did something, they should get off. What I'm saying is the kids should be shown some mercy.
Right.
And I cannot go down this kid road with y'all because it gets me very emotional. And I was telling my girlfriend today, one of Diddy's son's name is Christian. My son's name is Christian. I don't know if I'm blaying a lot. I don't know what I'm doing with this situation. But I know when it comes to the kids, I get emotional. I can't do it because I feel like as a parent, he failed these kids. And then on top of that, you got some of the kids where the mother died.
You're a good mother, though, Diva. I've noticed that in your commentary. You're someone who actually cares for your son. That's what sets you apart from those who don't.
Yeah, I thank you for that, Aces. And I hear you. A lot of y'all feeling this way, and I get it. Claire said, "Sorry, Diva, but I have to disagree. They're just as bad. They're just as bad. They're grown men." I get what you're saying. We're going to come to the middle road with that, and we're going to agree to disagree, because I also think, and I said this yesterday, I think about Bobby Christina.
Yeah.
Didn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
If you watch being Bobby Brown, that was at the height of Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston's drug craze, and Bobby Christina was all in the midst of that. And Whitney Houston's mother tried to get her out of there. And only because they was Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, CPS didn't get involved. CPS was from New Jersey, because they had a mansion in New Jersey. And she went to the name of the school is slipping my mind right now. She went to this very prestigious school in New Jersey at the time when they was living in New Jersey. CPS, that school, and everybody need to be sued, because if that was me, Bobby Christina would have been snatched up out of my house.
Right. And Nick too.
Come on now. And Nick and Bobby Brown Jr. What?
Nick was the boyfriend.
Hold on. She was not saying that about you. What are you talking about, Derby Diva?
Oh no, I was saying I've been
Yeah. No, she's not. Nobody said that about you. Y'all gotta try to listen and not be so sensitive. Nobody's saying just because somebody disagrees with me, they're a bad mother. She's not saying that. She never said that. That never came out her mouth, and she never said that.
Right. No, I was
on,
on this channel like months ago.
Aces, hold on. Because I know you and I know what angle you're coming from because I know your story, right? So that's why I'm clearing it up. We ain't even going to go down this road. People have got to stop. She did not say that about anybody and was not calling anybody a bad mother. I told y'all for the most part, hold on one second. Let me just say this. I told y'all for the most part, the people that come on this panel, we know each other. We have conversations backstage. Don't nobody be trying to do nothing sideways against anybody. Everybody is just telling their own little comments and stories. Y'all got to catch the train and don't catch feelings. And you know what? I'm not even going to say this, but catch the train and don't catch feelings. No, hold on one second, Aces, because I want to add something else to this conversation. The drug mill, this Brandon. I feel like Diddy, he preys on the young. This Brandon is only 25. And listen, is he doing wrong stuff? He is. Did he force him into I don't know. I don't really know how these two met. But he's only 25. He went to college because they said he went to Syracuse and I think he graduated. He used to play basketball when he was in Syracuse. I don't feel like reading this whole article. But he got arrested and he was with Diddy and he was just bringing the narcotics and all of that. The thing is, I think what we have to teach our kids too is don't be so impressionable with money. You understand what I'm trying to say? Don't be so it's like people look up to these celebrities as gods. Like if you were to dare say something about Beyonce, the fans will come buzz, buzz, like not Beyonce, she would never. It's like you say something about their favorite star or people lose their natural mind and they never in their life met the person. Never met the person. And they lose their mind. We have to teach our children, and I don't care if you got a dime in the bank or $1 million in the bank, teach your kid that these celebrities are not gods and don't let money make you lose your integrity and everything about you. This man is now in a world of trouble all because they want to take Diddy down because what they caught him with was nothing in comparison. It had no street value. So what do I mean by street value? Usually when they catch you with some paraphernalia, I'm going to say it that way, right? When they catch you with this paraphernalia, they value it as a street value to tell whether it is personal use or is it enough for, even if you say it's my personal use, they're like, no, this is way too much on the street. This is worth 10,000, 15,000, 30,000 or whatever the case may be. You understand? So that's what they kind of do. And so he had a level that was not even worth a street value because I think because Diddy know, and he know he can't survive 2 seconds without this medication, I'm gonna call it, but y'all know what it really is. This Brandon, that's his right, Brendan had enough for him to survive that flight. And then once they was going to get down, land, wherever they was going to land, because wherever Diddy goes, he has the people to get what he needs. And I think whenever they was going to land, it was going to be enough for him to, make it to the landing and then go get it again. I think part of his pacing around was like, God darn, how am I going to make it through this flight now? And I ain't got my stuff. Because Diddy obviously doesn't care about this man because he left his own kids back at home to get cuffed and all kinds of other stuff. So I feel for this young kid because a lot of kids, or a lot of, if you want to call them kid, adult, or whatever, they fall into these ways a lot of times. And I'm not saying all, so I don't want anybody to get all sensitive and, whatever. But some of them fall into these ways because they're lost. and they don't have their family or something like that. And I'm not saying it's an end all be all, because anybody can end up like this. Do you understand what I mean? But this kid looks like he probably uses substances himself. And then not only that, he's selling and bringing these things. And I'm sure at 25 that Diddy was paying him well to secure these substances for him. Now, most of the celebrities on this level, unless they become straight up where it's really bad and they have this money, they all have someone that brings it to them. Now, listen, I'm going to say this. Have a family member that unfortunately whole life was on these street substances. And now, even when you're on the very low end and don't have money like that, you can allegedly call up your person and they will deliver it to your home like Uber, Lyft, and all of that. This thing is serious because you know why? Once they get you hooked, they want to make it convenient for you to stay on these substances and to keep utilizing them as your main person. This is an epidemic, and we can go deeper into this conversation, but I don't want to. My thing is for this Brendan too. Yes, he was wrong. Yes, he has probably helped a lot of people get hooked on this mess and all of that too. And I'm not excusing that for him. All I'm saying is at the foundation of it all, my heart breaks that all of these individuals, their foundations was jacked up and it led the trajectory of their road that they went down. I'm just saying it's messed up. I'm not excusing them. I'm not saying they don't belong in jail. I'm not saying they shouldn't have to pay for their crime. I just say my heart breaks because he seems to prey on the young, the impressionable, and the people who seem to need something, and their moral compass is connected to money. Leo, your thoughts?
Okay, so I agree. As far as people's moral compass and their integrity, you can't. I can't say can't. I will say becoming a victim of this particular sinister scheme that Puffy has been doing for decades. These people here in the 2022s and the 2023s have less an excuse than the folks in the 90s and the early 2000s, because it was just small whispers at that time. Now it's a big old blowhorn. Like at 2023, people should have already known what he was about and how he moved and how he do his business. And even here where I'm at, I knew with my big age and my old school, I know about all the stuff that was going on in the 90s and the early 2000s, and now we in the 2010s and in the 2020s. So I feel like those folks have less of an excuse. I really do, because it's already out there, public knowledge on how he get down. And Brandon wanted to be a part of the get down. I did not hear anything about where he graduated from college from, what was his major, what did he do, where did he come from, how he got to Diddy. Is he in the music? Is he in the film? Like, what was his thing that got him to Diddy to be Diddy right-hand man to be carrying his stuff? Was he a part of on the website to get the exotic people? Was he a part of that? Was he recruited that way? Because the people now in 2022, 2023, those people were recruited. You already know how Diddy get down. Lil Rod, I don't understand how at your big age you didn't know that Diddy don't pay the people. You should have known if you stay on his property rent-free for a year, he's considering that as payment. You can't live with the man, fly with him, go everywhere he go as a documentarian and doing a video or a documentary about him if you don't have in writing that you're going to stay on the property and you're going to get a stipend and you're going to get a wage. He too old for that. You already know what's going. You jumped in with a hope and a prayer that you would get paid. And the thing about kids being influenced and look, I will say this. There are many predators that have been bred from other predators. The legal system would have crumbled if every time somebody came up and said, well, my father abused me, my mother abused me, they did ghastly things, disgusting things, unholy things to me, and so therefore I was chopping off heads and dismembering people and burying bodies. A lot of people do go through those things. But that don't mean that you turn around and then become a predator. It's not okay. It's not okay. You still gonna see your time. And I do understand what you said, Diva, that these kids probably were already hopeless and not hopeless, but were already on a dark path before they got to where they was at because the way they were raised. And you did agree if it's time that they need to have, then they need to get that time and they need to suffer the consequences of their actions. So I'm not disagreeing with that, but I am opening up the fact that everybody got a sob story of abuse.
Oh, good.
You still have to do the time if you do the crime.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I noticed, yeah. I noticed that he likes to connect to and I'm gonna say this for lack of a better word, skid road, so to speak, right? Because you go get the S workers. You understand what I'm trying to say? Get the X workers, the forgotten ones, the ones that when they come here, don't nobody care about them anyway. And I'm gonna do whatever I want to them. I envision in my head, that's why I waver in and out of doing this story, right? But I envision in my head that he really did them dirty because it was like, who's gonna look for you? Who cares about you? And once I got you all, substance up, I'm gonna do whatever to you.
And he enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the victims who were also predators did not enjoy any of it. He enjoyed every minute of it. And that's the reason why he has to be stopped, because he will continually do this until he is stopped. There are hundreds and thousands of victims. And I say this again, there will be more victims if he does not stop. It'll be more predators and more victims if this is not stopped. And he do it to people that look like us, that don't even have a whole bag, don't even have a whole leg, don't even have a boot or a bootstrap to pull themselves up out of poverty. And they do what they do to go to school, to try to get a better life, and they all have aspirations to be in the music industry. And he crushed them, those dreams, with abuse, and then turn them into predators as well. This man is diabolically vicious and brutal, and he is a disgusting human being, a psychopath and a sociopath at the next level.
Oh, the next level. Felicia?
Okay. May I read an article from the New York Post about Mr. Brendan Paul?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you. So who is Brendan Paul? Diddy's alleged drug mule arrested at Miami airport has a music
Felicia,
background.
Felicia, I'm listening. I'm listening. I don't want you to think. I just got to get my tea, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
The man arrested on drug charges at the Miami airport as he attempted to board a private jet with Mr. Combs is a 25-year-old basketball player from Ohio. His name is Brendan Paul. He's an amateur music producer and a graduate of Fairmont State University in West Virginia. Paul was taken into custody at Opa-locka Airport after federal agents intercepted Mr. Combs' plane, which he was about to board. He was booked on one count of possession of suspected cocaine and suspected, weed candy, according to an arrest report. Both are considered felonies. The 6-foot Ohioan has been bailed out of jail, and the paraphernalia found in his bag Monday have not been linked to Mr. Combs, nor was Mr. Combs arrested. Paul is originally from Shaker Heights, Ohio, and he still resides in the state, according to the police report. He lives with his parents, Kurt and Mary Jo, inside their $829,000 4-bedroom, 6-bath home. Paul attended private boarding school in New England, went to Brewster Academy. I'm going to tell you this. You all know I know something about some schools. That's probably running about, well, he's 25. So when he went, it probably was running about $60,000 a year plus expenses for the first 3 years of high school before transferring to Hawken High. That means he got put out of Brewster. He probably was a drug mule there too. But he went to a private day school in Ohio for his senior year. He then went on to the iconic Syracuse University in New York for his freshman and sophomore years before transferring finally to Fairmont. So he played some basketball, and after that, he wanted to pursue an amateur music production career. And this was during the pandemic. So he started making beats from his laptop. He eventually, hello everybody, he eventually began to produce for Diddy on the Love album, which was released in September. The young producer posted a photo of him and Mr. Combs in the studio as they were working on this album. And he also posted photos of him in the private all-black G5 550 Gulfstream to his social media in October, calling his time with the artist, quote, visceral. Following his arrest, Mr. Combs was seen stressfully pacing outside of the airport while they were handcuffing Mr. Brendan Paul. So there we have it. Another young person wanting to go into the music industry, as Leo said, being brought in with the idea that your talents, your skills, you're going to develop them, you're going to grow them, you're going to work with me, you're going to do X, Y, Z. We know that Brendan wasn't paid because Little Rod wasn't paid. So the housekeeper, just to remind everybody, she wasn't paid. I heard what Diva said, but she ain't getting no money. The nanny wasn't paid. So working for Mr. Combs, you're not going to get paid.
And
right. Neither was the chef. The chef had to take it to court.
The chef wasn't paid either.
Right.
No, they wasn't paid either. So we know he wasn't being paid. So he was probably given the substances and could stay in the house, right?
Right.
Like Little Rod did, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now he's messed up. We looked at that photo and
exactly. Mm-hmm.
You could tell he's on something. But to the contrary, he appears to come from a family that's financially well off. And he's probably been dipping and dabbing in some of those substances since high school.
And on the edges of a person who saw out risky behavior and risky things because he got put, most likely, allegedly, perhaps, got put out of the prestigious school and then had to get his senior year at another school. But his family still stuck by him because, of course, they did pay for college.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Hawkins is a prestigious school in Ohio.
Wait, hold on one second, Dr. Love. Celeste, we read the whole Little Rodney case over here weeks ago, but I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. We sure did.
And if I also may, before I close out, some of your subscribers, the people in the chat, were asking about this funding that Mr. Blackburn is getting to continue to amend and pursue and to seek justice for Little Rod. So Doug Wigdor, that's the lawyer, law firm that got that huge settlement on the Cassie Ventura piece. And so they are extending themselves pro bono, but their services, what are their services? Copying, paralegals, researchers, court calendars, people like that, to keep on top of this case with Jane Doe and with Tyrone Blackburn. And I forget who the other client is. Who's his other client? Tyrone Blackburn got 2 clients. I can't remember the other one. Anyway, so that's who's funding it up front. What did you say, Diva?
It's the Jane Doe.
Yeah, and he got another one. Tyrone got another one. I forgot. I can't remember now. But he got another case too.
Okay.
I think it's the one with the LA Reid. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's the answer to that question. So thank you. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. And all right. Brenda, I tried to help you. In my opinion.
Listen here. I don't feel sorry for Brandon. I don't. Okay. Because he came from a home where his parents probably taught him right from wrong. He didn't grow up in this toxicity that Diddy kids had to go through. He had a fighting chance. Okay. And I'm pretty sure his parents told him when he was messing up so many other times, as Felicia has told us, when he was messing up and getting kicked out of school, I'm pretty sure they told him, this ain't the way to go. And he decided, this is the way I'm going to go. So when you want to get out here and you want to have the hard life, then don't cry to me and expect me to bail you out when you do it, because you got to learn some kind of way. Tough love ain't easy.
I appreciate y'all. Tay.
You can skip me, Diva.
Okay, no problem. Dr. Love.
So yes, I agree with you guys. I agree with you about in my opinion about the tough love, because one thing we know here in Ohio, Shaker is a very prestige rich neighborhood. And after he left college, either he went to this point of, oh, I'm going to show my parents I can make it out here on my own and get my own drugs. That could have led him to that. Just so many different things to have led him to Diddy. But it's true. I think those parents had to do tough love once he finished college. And then, Diva, I agree with you too about how children will do what they're taught. And this is like, and when we're saying taught, even things that they see, and this is something that is a statistical fact. It's not just something that you're really saying. It's to be known. There has been many of research and studies been done on this to say what is the percentage of a child smoking if they see one of their parents smoking and both of their parents smoking, drinking. It's a lot of research out here for that. So I would say, do I feel sorry for the children? Yes. Because too, as me being a parent raising my children, I know all of the things I could have told them they would have believed, at what age, how I could have truly manipulated my own children.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I can say that. But and another thing I want to say, children, even young adults are very easily influenced. So we may ask, why do they continue to go after these young adults? That's the reason why. The brain is not fully developed until you're 26 years old. And to me, for some of the boys, I'm going to say 30. So, or more, depending on the child. But that's just my thoughts, and I do agree with a lot of you guys who have spoke already. And Felicia, I want to thank you for that information, because things could be going on right in your backyard and you do not even know. Another fact I want to make is him being 6 feet. 6 feet. One thing I know about bigger boys and bigger men that used to be basketball players, they really don't want to go work somewhere 6 feet if they didn't make it to the lead or bigger. Um, Even though no, 6 feet is not that tall. I'm thinking 7 feet. But okay, I'm done.
No
Alrighty.
Julius, you're up.
It's unfortunate that he got arrested, but what do you expect when you have substances that you know you can't possess really? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like laced with stuff. Like, come on now. Like, even if his parents didn't do that good of a job, I'm pretty sure they at least taught the basic premises of common sense. But he probably was acting up too much, and they probably washed their hands saying, okay, you keep going on this road, watch, you gonna get in big trouble, and we ain't gonna be there for you that much. And what happened? He got into big trouble. Got into big trouble. So he's 25. Now they probably don't want him, they want Diddy, and they could tell that this is his first offense. So he has a chance. Either you work with us, we work with you. If you don't work with us, then you get clink clink.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure he's torn between a rock and a hard place, because he's gonna miss that check. But if he's smart, he will work with Homeland and bring down Brother Love, Diddy, Sean, whatever he call himself. I'm surprised he ain't calling himself Cokehead right now, because the way he be acting sometime. But yeah, it's if he's smart, he needs to work with the authorities.
Save himself. This is Operation Save Yourself. Jamie, I would have to go back and look at this. I don't remember, to be honest with you. Does anybody remember? She's saying, wasn't an anonymous girl in one of the lawsuits, they went to Syracuse also?
Yeah, but she went to Syracuse back in the early 90s.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
She's not as young as him. Right.
That's
Okay,
not
got you.
the sign.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember. Let me just I'm coming to you, Aces. Give me a minute. I just want to throw this in there. I kind of saw this. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on one second. Because everybody's saying, they're coming for Jay-Z. Oh my goodness, it's all I
can tell. There's no expense being spared. We had a Black Billionaires Lunch. It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. The game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a Black Billionaires Lunch. It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different.
He always looks high. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Aces, you're up.
Okay, everybody. So, a few things, right? One, the young man, Brandon Paul, yes, he got apprehended for being a mule. I feel like he knows that he will be protected, right? The definition of white privilege is unearned advantage based on race, which can be observed both systematically and individually. So I feel like because he's 25 years old, very young, not too young to not know what he was doing, I feel like he knows that he would be protected in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to touch on just really quickly the comment that was made earlier, because I have been absent for some time.
Mm-hmm.
To the young woman who made the comment, The reason why I said that I feel, this is just my own opinion, I can only speak for myself. The reason why I feel like I think that, you know, Diva is a good mother is because of the things that I have observed over time. So, like, in my opinion, Leo, Felicia, they have seen me on the panel. They've been witness to my breakdowns. If you guys don't know, I am a PhD student. I'm finishing the second chapter of my dissertation. So I will be on the panel sporadically. Like, I saw the emergency train ride that you had with Royer in regards to Diddy, and I wanted to jump on so bad, but I couldn't because I had deadlines that I had to do. But I was observing from afar. But I love this, you know, I love this channel. I love Diva. I love all of you guys so much. I will be on in and out sporadically, but I'm rooting for all of you from afar. But I say all that to say that I recognize Diva's work ethic. It beats mine. I'm trying to aspire to hit it. No, but even today, I was helping. There was a young Asian man. He's being backed by Toyota. He's a PhD student in computer science. My field is educational psychology, just for record. But he said he had me answer some questions in regards to AI and ChatGPT. He's designing wheelchairs for Toyota. And he said, you have such a brilliant mind, and it supersedes that of AI. And I started to tear up because I felt like I didn't need to hear that. And at first I thought he was blowing smoke, but then he was like, no, can you write what you said in my dissertation? Like, can you help me out? So, like I said, at first I thought he was blowing smoke, just, you know, saying whatever, gassing, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I said all that to say, one, I didn't think I needed to hear that. I did. Two, that's the reason why I jumped on this particular train ride. And I wanted to say that I appreciate everything that Diva is doing, everyone on the panel is doing. And the reason why, again, I wanted to present her flowers while she's still here, because I feel like that's so important, because this young man who paid me to advise him on his dissertation, he doesn't realize how much that meant to me, and the fact that I didn't feel like I needed to hear that anymore. So when I said that I feel like she's a good mother, it wasn't because of just today, okay? Because I've been on this panel for a while, and if I'm not here physically, know that I'm rooting for everyone behind the scenes. But I've been here for months. So once I graduate, I might, you know, be able to make it daily. But if I'm not here, know that I'm writing. We're supposed to be writing, but but I'm working. And so I love you guys. But that's it. That's all. Y'all know Diddy going down. He's been doing too much dirt for too long. So, but that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, you know what, Aces, thank you. And I appreciate you. And I receive everything you said to me. And I want to say right back at you. Very well spoken. You shared a lot on this channel, personal. And I know the days that you shared, you helped many people, right? And I want to say this. I really literally had this conversation with Felicia today, ironically, where I said to her that God brought us all together for a reason. Because when one is weak, the other one is strong.
Yes.
When we're missing something, when we need something, if we can't see it in that moment, in that time, someone on this panel gives it to us, right? So that's why I always try to tell people, maybe these conversations are being started because of a Diddy, because of a Young Miami, because of a reality show. But I'll always try to tread it into the real world and real life, because of the simple fact of these are situations that maybe not on this level, this Diddy level. I heard about a lot of things. I never heard about something so on this Diddy level. This is way beyond my imagination, right? you know, this is something to me that you would see in the movies and you'd be like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
I read a lot of books, and sometimes some of these books I read and the things that happen, I'm like, this person had to some way experience this in their life, or they know someone that experienced it, because I just can't see their mind coming up with these stories that they wrote about, right? So these things happen in real life where people, you know, you thought you was going to do a job and one thing was going to happen, and the next thing you know, you're in a rabbit hole and it's something else. I know somebody that got caught up in like a whole insurance scam, and that's not even who they were, right? But the people that dragging you into these things, they package it up nice. They make it seem like it's so easy. They think, oh, nothing's going to happen. You're going to be fine. You just got to sign here, or you just got to make the phone call. So things start on a certain level and they escalate to other levels, right? So Diddy was very slick and strategic, where you call and get the workers for me. You go with the bad boy hat on to this workers club, and they're going to know I'm in town, and you go get the workers. So when these people do speak, yeah, they might have went to his house. Yeah, these things might have happened. But at the end of the day, he wasn't the one that physically maybe had picked them up or paid for them, or whatever the case may be. So even when they go do this paper trail, and that's where they're struggling right now, right? They know he the ringleader. It's the same thing with, if you take it simple to the drug world, right? You got the kingpin, which is always very hard to take down, right? Because although the breadcrumbs may lead back to him, everybody else, all the minions, so to speak, was doing all the dirty work. So yeah, you caught me coming out the airport with all the stuff in my backpack or my luggage, right? But meantime, it's him that sent me. It's him that's making the deals. But it's so far-fetched, and that's why they need people to speak up. They need informants to point the finger back to him, because they have nothing else. So that's why they need the informants, right? Because if you look at all the paperwork, their name is nowhere. Even the wire transfers is done by the accountant. If I wanted to, I could lie and say, I didn't know he was giving Young Miami $300,000 of my money. I'm a billionaire. I have so much money, I never saw it missing.
I do not recall is their favorite phrase.
That part. So although that man was allegedly cocoed up and everything else up, he did some things. And I believe, I cannot say this for a fact, I believe his counsel that he was paying a good money for. Can you imagine if he was giving Young Miami just like that $500,000 a month? Imagine how much this counsel was getting a month.
A grip.
And I believe the council was like, all right, you're going to do XYZ. Make sure you do this, what you do, but you ain't hear from me. You do it this way. You don't ever touch it. You have somebody do it. Pay an accountant, pay them well, and have them do the wire transfer for you. It will never be on the blueprint of the cloud or whatever that he was the one that transferred, did anything money. It's going to lead back to a person, and they're going to need that person to speak. And I could easily call that person a whole liar.
The billionaire's blueprint.
There you go. You better talk about it. Rita, you're up.
Yeah. I think Diddy get young people because he know that young people, well, young looking people can get into these colleges, can get into these clubs, you know, to get to the younger people. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So they can recruit them to come back to him. And like me and Felicia was talking the other night, why was this little white girl front and center? And where is she now? Like we were saying, maybe she was the one that got trafficked and they came looking for her. Because that's just totally ironic. And why is he hanging around on the streets finding people saying that I found her on the street? Why are you down there finding people on the street? This man is crazy.
Katrina, let me throw this in there. I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead.
She was actually friends of the daughters. So indirectly and ironically, probably they probably was helping in this thing and didn't even know it themselves. But continue. But that's just a thought in my head, because there's pictures of the daughters and the girl when the girl was very young and the daughters were very young. But continue. So that's why he said in the video, you making it sound messy, found you on the street or whatever, and Papa Diddy and this and that. But go ahead, continue.
Because he's a nut.
Uh-huh.
But the thing, he's a nut. But like I said, I think he get these younger people so they can recruit, so he can get them in through them colleges. He probably had them doing selling drugs through those colleges. You see what I'm saying? And like with the suburban people, these kids, just because they come from a rich family don't mean they don't party. They be having what they call a candy bowl parties, where everybody come in and throw pills in the bowl, and they just they don't know what they taking. But each one of them taking a pill out the bowl. Somebody come in with their mama prescription, throwing in the bowl. They call it candy bowl. They have big bowls of pills. So they do this in these neighborhoods and whatsoever. Just because they from a rich neighborhood, them the ones that be getting the stuff. They be getting the good stuff. And or stealing their mom and dad prescriptions and whatsoever, and taking them to the parties and selling them. So I mean, because look at that guy that was the heir to Max Factor. What he was doing, what he was sexually assaulting these women with the GHB and all that type of stuff.
S.A. Katrina, S.A.
S.A. I mean S.A. Sorry. S.A. But yeah, I'm just saying, look what he was doing. And he had money. So, I mean, like I said, I think he's getting these young people, recruiting them so they can recruit other people to bring back to him. This man is crazy. And like Felicia said, in my opinion, Leo, everybody on the panel, he needs to be off the streets, because he's going to cause way more damage than what he's causing already.
Yeah.
That's it, y'all.
I appreciate y'all. Listen, I didn't even get to pull a feel-good story together tonight. I'm about to close out. Does anybody have... Yes, go ahead.
I put something in the private chat from Joy Reid last night. I think it's clean. It's nothing that's going to get you struck. The person's talking about Mr. Combs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna put it in now. Let me see.
Thank you for trusting me. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I did see this. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. I did see this. Let me see. Maybe later. Whew. Okay, I'm going to skip the ad when I can. That's a nice home.
It's gorgeous. And that's Torre.
Okay. It's beautiful.
No, Torre is the commentator that's on there. He was a hip hop commentator in the 90s.
Oh, you're talking about the guy? Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, federal agents executed search warrants at 2 properties in Los Angeles and Miami belonging to rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs. A source familiar with the matter told NBC News that Combs is the subject of a federal investigation following a wave of lawsuits that have been filed against him. Those lawsuits, including from his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, alleged physical and sexual abuse, which Combs has denied. The source also confirmed that 3 women and a man have been interviewed by federal officials in Manhattan in relation to allegations of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and the solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms. Late today, Combs' lawyer issued the following statement. Quote, yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There was no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There's been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name, unquote. Joining me now is Torre, host of Masters of the Game. The new season premieres Friday on the Grio. What is going on? Because we did also see Diddy's sons arrested. They were detained. They weren't arrested. They were just detained. Yeah. But what is going on?
Well, it seems that there are several people who are saying things about Combs to the government, and they are trying to figure out what's going on. I found it interesting that they had enough to get a search warrant, right, for multiple places, but not enough yet to arrest him. So we're in the investigation phase, and clearly they don't care if we let him know that we know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it seems part of his whole life, his whole journey has been this sort of scorched earth campaign where you see him continuing to succeed or do big things and leave people in his wake hurt. We go back to CCNY, which a party that he over promoted that people ended up getting killed. You think about the many artists who either left, in complaint or went to the church or, died after, I mean, there was a lot of disheartened artists who left him that he raised up. On and on. And now this large growing number of people who are alleging crazy stuff about him.
Yeah.
And these are things that people in the industry have been hearing about.
It's giving R. Kelly, Teray. It's disturbing.
I was personally disturbed many years ago. Okay. I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Yeah.
And I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? He wouldn't say. And years later, they finally came out, and this a male, and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, this is how it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to hear that things went even further with potentially, allegedly, many other people, it's not, we feel like we've seen this coming.
Well, there was the situation with obviously Russell Simmons, who does not live in the United States any further.
Mm-hmm.
You've had these situations, obviously, with R. Kelly. This feels like it is going down that kind of a track because you have multiple accusers with nothing proved. He's not been adjudicated whatever, but it's just talking.
Video.
And he paid Cassie a lot of money.
A lot of money. And, the people are coming with videos, though. I mean, like evidence, not just hearsay. So, I mean, this is a very, very frightening situation. There was a period in the record business when a lot of wildness was going on of this sort. And here's another shoe dropping.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think, talk about where he stands, because what he's saying sounds very Trumpy.
Yeah.
He's talking about a witch hunt.
Yeah.
I had somebody text me earlier today. I think I texted you today and forwarded it to you that somebody's saying, watch for him to try to weaponize sort of a Trump sort of narrative, or watch the Trump people try to weaponize what's happening in favor of Trump to say, look, there's this persecuted black man like me who's like me, and try to weaponize it. It feels very Trumpish.
I hate to say that anyone is like Trump, but there is something in the long-term rise of Puff, in that he seemed to create his own reality, to demand that everyone around him follow what he wanted.
Yeah.
And people did. He had a ton of money behind him to start Bad Boy at a very young age.
Yeah.
And would just treat me. I mean, he's called me up and screamed at me on more than one occasion, and lots of people would say that. So the ego was gigantic. The ability to create the reality that he wanted seemed to be there.
But also to create a reality that was dangerous. I mean, I think for a lot of hip hop fans, the failure to protect Notorious B.I.G., the sort of egging on of an East Coast, West Coast rivalry between friends that were people who knew and respected each other and didn't have to be beefing, and to sort of let that violence come. I think for a lot of us, and that, and also oversampling and making hip hop into a sample machine. Don't get me started.
Now you're doing that.
Now I'm doing that. But I'm only doing that because you're my friend and you'll defend me. No, don't get me started, Teray. How does this go? Is he in the United States? Do we know where he is?
I don't know. I can't even call it.
Yeah. Well, you have to come back when you get more information. Teray, thank you.
the internship was ended abruptly.
But can I tell you what I took from that is he ended it.
He did. That's right. He ended it. It ended, but it abruptly. It meaning he wouldn't go for the get down.
Right, but see, we will have to do another part on this because that's the part. Now, I'm not talking about the young kids that maybe was 15, 16. I'm not talking about those, but I am going to talk about the adults that was so whatever with him that they didn't stop. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole because I'm 2 hours in and about to close out. But little Rodney, I keep going back to this. 2 weeks in, you didn't get paid. 4 weeks in, you didn't get paid and you was getting felt up. Why didn't you go to Target and never come back? This guy ended it.
Yes, he did. And he did not elaborate on what he was asked to do, right? So, you know, it was outrageous because he quit immediately.
So did Aubrey Day. So there are people that said no. So we got to talk another time, y'all. I'm 2 hours in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for being
here. Love you too. Thank you so
much.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all for being here. We can go down that road. It's a whole nother conversation about these people that refuse to say no, even to the detriment of self.
They refused to say no because they was getting what they wanted at that point in time. Flying everywhere, living free, living the high life. And
They predators too, though, Katrina. They predators too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They was getting what they wanted.
Thank you, Felicia, for that clip. I did see it. But there's many others, Felicia. I don't know if you saw those too. We'll talk later. But there are other ones that said no to Diddy. They said no to Diddy. And if you go back and you think about, I'll let you speak as soon as I finish this sentence, Felicia. If you go back and you think about Cat Williams' interview with Shay Shay, he said, I turned down $50 million 3 times to protect my body. I'm going to use those words. Felicia, go ahead. Because I
was going to remind you, Cat told it all.
He did.
He told it all.
He sure did.
He told us. He said, if he wanted to keep a virgin, you know what? He was going to tell a whole lot of people no.
Yeah. Listen, guys, chat with me. I'm thinking I'm doing my still video. Listen, guys, thank you for being here. This is a lot. This darn Diddy thing. I got to go cleanse myself.
God, Diddy got us worse than Monique.
Yeah. Gotta go meditate. This man, what really, really breaks my heart is the amount of people's lives that he destroyed.
Hey, Wayne.
It really breaks
my heart.
Hey, Wayne, the amount of lives that he destroyed, it breaks my heart. This man, you thinking you doing your family member a solid. You make a call, and then it stops.
Hey,
Wayne.
Hold on 1 second, guys. That your family member don't even want to speak. Don't even want to speak. And he said years later, his family member told him.
But I wanted if Diddy mama know. That's the reason why he slapped her, because she was confronting him about stuff.
Right now, Katrina. Hold on 1 second. Wayne, real quick, say something.
Oh, no, I'm good. I just want to jump backstage. That's all.
Okay, listen, guys, I thank y'all for being here. Hit that like button. See you next time. We had the conversation. I truly appreciate y'all. It's just, and I will say this is happening on our level, in our world. There are neighbors preying on your young daughters and your young sons. And we have got to help our children know when to speak up. We got to trust them. We got to believe them. And we got to protect them.
And teachers, Diva.
And teachers. You ain't lying, because the amount of teachers that I'm seeing touching these kids, I want to go to every school and slap them. Thank you for saying that, in my opinion. Listen, guys, I'll see you on next video. Hit the like button. Good night and goodbye.
Do not cheat.